I would like to stop my screen sharing and we'll take the today's interacting session a bit later after my um, presentation today, Anatomy of the Spirit. So friends, whoever wants to close your eyes, you can again close your eyes and sit in meditation. But then I'm also sharing the screen presentation, and whoever understands the language and willing to, please see at the screen. So, where's my screen? So welcome back, friends. Welcome back on this beautiful journey. So, um, let me give a short introduction because I see so many new people around today, friends. I'm reading the book Anatomy of the Spirit, which is written by Caroline Miss, who is a journalist basically, and she was unable to find her interest in the journalist. And later, she used to start getting some impressions about the people of their diseases, and slowly they become so accurate by completely trusting her intentions and trusting her impressions, and also by being detached. And later on, Caroline's joined Dr. Norm, and after that, Dr. Norm is a neurosurgeon, and under him she completely read the anatomy of the human body. And there she joined Dr. Norm, and she started giving impressions to the patients who are the patients of Dr. Norm. And that's how these both have collaborated, like Caroline on the spiritual and side and emotional side healing, and Dr. Norm on the medical side. So these both have combined together, joined as a team, and they started healing the patients inwardly as well. So let us get into the topics of today. And there is also one of the reason that we have done this meditation with Madhu's painting, because in there was an incident with Caroline when she was in Denver. She went along with her friends to a place, and there she was unable to get any sleep, and she was exhausted. But still, she started to go for walking, and then later the van driver who took them to the hotel, he himself again said Caroline, and he dropped Caroline at one grand lady's place. And there in that place, the lady follows a tribe, which is the Indian tribe, which is not our Indian, it's like American Indian tribe. And in there, there she started to say that people who the blankets, like they put their heart, soul, everything when they are weaving. And that is the reason like why we also have meditated with today's painting of Madhu's, because she have kept like her soul into this, and that vibration, it carry forwards to everyone. And for that reason, so this is one of the reason, and it's really amazing to do with Madhu's painting, the meditation along with her. So today's topic is energy, medicine, and intuition. In that, we have already covered the human energy field, like why it is very important to understand the energy field, and what basically is the energy and how do we indicate. And today we will see the first principle. We will cover these three topics today: the first principle, the second one, and the third one. And we'll see how our biography becomes the biology. So we start with the first principle today, that biography becomes a biology. Means our bodies contain our histories, which means every event, every relationship, also with ourselves, everything is being recorded. So as our lives unfold, our biological health becomes a living, breathing biological statement that conveys our strengths, weaknesses, hopes, and fears. So every thought you have had has traveled your biological system. Let me also point at the thing. So every thought you have had has traveled your biological system. For example, imagine that you have a fear. So what does fear does to your body? Fear activates every system, which means your stomach gets tight and your heart rate increases and you may break into sweat. An example, a loving thought, on the other hand, relax your body. So which means like that, many other thoughts throughout the day are meaningless, and sometimes, there are also like unconscious thoughts. But then these unconscious thoughts do not much influence on our body, and the effects on the body is also very minimal. And I also have to say that energy produces biological responses that are being stored in our cellular memory, and this becomes biography. Once again, we are having thoughts every day, and this is being turned into the energy. These thoughts are creating our energy fields, and energy fields produce biological responses. And these biological responses are being stored in our cellular memory. And this is creating our biography. So that's what Patri said, have kept in a simple statement that we create our reality, which means nothing. Our thoughts, we are creating our own reality just by producing our thoughts. So that is the reason why we have to be very aware of what our thoughts come into us. And let me explain here a nice story given by Dr. Caroline. So what the thing happened is there was a study of Norm's a patient who was a dentist, and he was developing an illness. So what Norm have done is Norm have called Miss for a phone consultation on this patient. And he being a dentist, he was like unable to recognize his illness, and he was feeling sick and exhausted, and he need an acute pain around. He had like an acute pain around the right side of his abdomen, and he was seriously depressed. So increasing exhaustion that takes the edge of mental and emotional clarity is an energy symptom that indicates that something has been wrong in his body. So like that, most of the people do not consider it as a symptom, as these kind of things are not painful. But when exhaustion continues, even when the person is getting more sleep, then the body is trying to communicate that the person is energetically ill. And addressing these kind of issues prevents our illness. So this is what meditation does exactly. While doing meditation, by being so aware, we'll be able to find where the energy leakages are, and we'll be able to heal by ourselves. And that's the reason why meditation is very, very important for everyone, that we are the only ones who can heal. So what happened with this patient? So depression is like another one of the symptoms that indicates that all is not well. So within clinical world, depression is considered as an emotional and mental disorder. But prolonged depression often precedes the development of a physical illness. And in energy terms, depression literally is a release of energy or life force. So imagine like you have a money and you have kept money in your wallet, and you don't care of who is taking your money and how it is being spent. So prolonged depression creates a chronic exhaustion, which means like if you don't care who spends your money or how much, inevitably you will end up with broke. So just like the same, without energy, you cannot support your health. This is such a small, simple example, friends. Don't think much on that. And so what happened with this patient again is like, because of this man's abdominal pain, Dr. Norm ran tests for pancreatic cancer, but they turned out negative. So what now? Dr. Norm called Caroline for consultation and said that, and usually he does not say nothing about the patients when he calls Caroline. And in Caroline's evaluation, she saw that the right side of the patient's body around the pancreas was generating toxic energy. And she told to Dr. Norm that this person was burdened by an enormous feeling of responsibility. And this is being created like a deep suffering within him. And he felt intensely that he was unable to live as he wanted to. And he was dwelling on this feeling almost to exhaustion. So Dr. Miss said to Norm that the patient had pancreatic cancer. And Norm admitted that all the tests came out negative and the patient is all clear. But then this patient do not want to be a dentist, and he was literally suffering with what the kind of work he's doing. But since he doesn't know the clarity of what to do, he just continued his job. And later on, he developed the pancreatic cancer eventually after 2 weeks after consulting Dr. Norm. And this patient is then immediately operated, but then died within 3 months of his surgery. Because the reason is also one of the things that he didn't listen to Dr. Norm's advice while, healing. He didn't look into his inner self. And we also need to understand that not all negative feelings produces diseases. Example, we need to forgive a person and yet remain angry on them, which gives us more power. And remaining obsessively angry makes you more likely to develop a disease, because the energy consequence of a negative obsession is powerlessness. And transmitting energy to past and dwelling on the painful events drain power from the present day body, and that can lead to the serious illness. So please remember, friends, energy is nothing but power. And what is power? The power is not that we think of like having a higher position or financially great or something. We'll just recognize it in the next slide. So, where is it? Yes. And now we turn to the second principle, which is called personal power is necessary for health. And we'll know. So when we say about the power, Dr. Norm, when we say about this, here, the thing is, the power is the very first time when Dr. Norm called to do an evaluation of a woman, and she was unable to treat with devices as there is no power in her system. And that is the very first time Caroline have recognized what means a power in relation to healing. And Dr. Norm asked to elaborate, and is the first time Miss came across this word and had an entirely different sense of human energy system. And for example, here what the thing happened is the woman who have consulted Dr. Norm, he is always like having a controlling behavior towards the other people, especially on her children. And she used to feel as if she is a very good supporting mother, but that's not the case. She is like so much controlling, and by controlling others requires a tremendous investment of energy that we people do not understand. We always will be telling like, do this, do that, but everyone should be given equal amount of freedom right from the childhood. And that's what this woman is. She was unable to come out of this controlling state, and she was unable to act on this. So this woman had only an external concept of power, not like internal concept, which she drew an external source, her children. And this patient could go to psychotherapy sessions until she confronts the truth. Understand here the beautiful phrase here, until or unless we really understand the truth of what is happening inside our body, no healing will take place. So evaluating this woman gave Caroline an insight into the role of power in our lives and also in our energy systems. And this power is an ability to generate the internal energy and emotional resources. And I also have to say that Caroline have given a statement that M. Scott Peck has pointed out in some books and articles of People of the Lie and the Road Less Travel, that by seeing and admitting the truth about ourselves, about our role in creating our own problems, and about how we relate to others is vital for healing. And power is the root of the human experience, and our relationship to power is at the core of our health. So we have seen what is energy and how this is becoming our biology. And at the same time, how power is also like how we develop our inner relationship to power. These two are really important to understand. And this power mediates between our internal and external worlds. And as it does, it communicates in a language of myth and symbol. As I stated in the early slides, that there is a symbolic language of light where we'll be seeing the internal patterns in the form of symbols. And that is what it called. And this energy information is always truthful. Energy do not lie. Each of us had numerous power symbols, and each symbol has a biological counterpart. And learning this symbolic language of energy means learning to evaluate the dynamics of power in yourself and also in others in a more positive way. And we'll also learn this in the coming days about the symbolic language of light and how it will, and we'll also see the practices how we can bring into our personal life as well, friends. And then our biological and spiritual systems always seek to express truth, and this is our core essence. Imagine our biological systems, and also spiritually the essence is always to seek to express the truth, and they will always find a way to do so. No matter what, how you are cheating yourself, our inner core is always to express the truth, and how loyally we are with ourselves. That's the essence of your friendship that you give also to your inner child. And we need to become more conscious of what gives us power. And then we cover the third principle, which is now we have seen like the biological system, and now we have seen the power, and how these two combinedly act on healing yourself. And remember, friends, there is no one in this world who can heal you except you, yourself. So you alone can help yourself heal. And let us all say, my friends, this word: I am responsible for the creation of my health. Please say it a bit louder so that I can also hear. Let us all say unitedly, I am responsible for the creation of my health. So friends, I really recommend to say once again, if not loud, please say like 2 or 3 times with yourself, that I am responsible for the creation of my health.
I am responsible for the creation of my health. I am
And
responsible for the
for the
creation of my
creation of
health.
my health. I
I
am
am
responsible for
responsible
the
for the
creation
creation
of
of
my
my
health.
health.
Wonderful, friends. So here we see this energy medicine as a holistic philosophy that teaches that I am responsible for the creation of my health. I therefore sorry, till where I have said?
No, just now you can continue.
Okay. So I am responsible for the creation of my health, and I therefore participated at some level in the creation of any illness that we are having. I can participate in the healing of this illness by healing myself. So, which means healing our emotional, psychological, physical, and our spiritual beings. And here, I have to say that there are two types of things here. There is one, healing and curing are not the same thing. Healing means is an active way where both people have to participate together. And there is this curing, the passive way. And the process of curing is passive, which is why, because like the patient, for example, is inclined to give his or her authority over to the physician. And he just follows the prescription, he just follows the treatment given by the doctor and is completely dependent on what the doctor says. But then healing is something that you participate completely with the healer. So you are completely committed, you are completely aware, you are there along with them. And that is why this is very active process. And healing is like how we commit to ourselves, that if we have an illness, how we are so committed to ourselves in order to heal our illness. So the process of curing is passive and is for the body, and healing is active and is full emotional and spiritual recovery. So as I said, this conventional medicine, which is a passive, it follows the prescription and the responsibility lies with the doctor. And the patient may recover, but may never deal fully with the source of the illness. Whereas in healing, you completely get connected with the source of your illness and it eradicates fully. And see, it is a holistic medicine and is very active, and it requires patient willingness to participate fully. An energy connection occurs between the therapist and the patient. And let us see one more slide, friends. So here, for example, what happened is, I would like to share a small example. And these acquisitioners are nothing but passive people. So what the thing happened here is, the mother with depression and chronic back pain, for example, before I gave, is someone with only passive power. Before I gave the example of the mother, like who controls the people, and there she is unable to have any power because she's not giving freedom to the people. And this kind of dependent person feels she must acquire power from her external environment and from or through someone else. So that is why you see there are energy leakages. So people like, I can't forgive, and money, people who thinks, these are all the leakages of the body. So that is why we really need to be aware of what are the energy circuits and what kind of energy we are taking in and where the energy leakages are. And such a person, for example, seeks acquire power through money, social status, political, social, military, or so on, so like relationships and influential people and etc. etc. So in the human energy system, our individual interactions with our environment can be thought of symbolically in electromagnetic circuits. And these circuits can run through our bodies and connect us to external objects and also other people. So we are drawn to power objects or power targets, let's say, so that we draw our power into our system. So these external objects are being controlled, like our inner body is being controlled by the external body. And somehow we are losing there. So our connection with the power target, however, draws some power away from our own health and into the target. So when a person, for example, is overly hooked with someone or something in a negative way, then also they are losing their power eventually. And these exactly are called acquisitioners. So that is why We have to be very open-minded, and we should come out of our old belief patterns, and we should not completely hook to one thing, because change is inevitable. Change is everywhere. Every day happens. Change happens every day. And we really have to be aware and open-minded. So, and let us come out of the acquisitioners, and now let us see also another example of acquisitioner. Sorry, friends. So the most extreme type of an acquisitioner is the addict. So if you have any addictions, like you smoke a cigarette or tobacco, or drinking alcohol, these all types are called acquisitioners, and their energy circuits are so much connected to the target that they no longer have the use. Sorry, I wrote like user, but have the use of their own reasoning ability, which means they do not have control at all on their inner senses. They are always giving more and more attention to the outer objects. For example, let me give another example. So what Caroline used to give is, she used to conduct workshops of how the people have to be get healed by themselves. And in Denmark, she was giving a workshop for the people who are with HIV, and miss discussing like what a person needs to do in order to heal a serious illness. And there was a lady who came up, who was HIV positive, and she came up and asked like how bad it will be to smoke 2 cigarettes a day. And Miss immediately said that, imagine here was a lady. You are seeing my mouse, right? Where I'm moving. Here was a lady. And Miss hold a cigarette in one hand and HIV positive to cure the healing on the other hand. And immediately the lady recognized, like Caroline have asked, which one she wants to choose. Eventually, the lady said like she wants to get cured, but her mind immediately was focusing on the cigarette because she was eventually unable to come out of it. So this is where our minds, we have to be very completely aware of our minds. Our minds cannot easily compete with our emotional needs. Acquisitioners find using their intuition extremely difficult. And this is where we as a human, like we humans really need to put lot and lot of effort to understand what we really want and how pure our thoughts will become. And clear intuitions requires the ability to respect your own impressions. And above all, healing is a solo task. You are the only one who can heal yourself, because for example, imagine you wanted to forgive a person and no other person can know like how much with what kind of emotion you're carrying with this person, like why you need to forgive. Is it a small thing or is it a big thing? No one can tell. Everyone can express their way, but you're the only person who knows how much you're saying like, okay, I have forgiven the person, but is the person really out of your mind or not? You're the only one who knows what is happening inside. And for this reason, healing is always, always, always a solo task. No one can heal on behalf of another person. We can assist others to be sure, but no one can heal. And the very nature of the passive power is power through attachments. And this is why always we have to be in a medium. We follow the medium path, not completely attached to anything. And finally, like here, most people come to Caroline's workshop to change their lives and their life patterns. And here the thing is, we have the ability to choose, and that is an active power. We have to make choices. The ability to choose is an active power, and the sensation of having active power is both thrilling and threatening at the same time, because it makes us want to change those parts of our life that are no longer appropriate. And changing those parts inspires us to challenge other aspects of our lives that are not satisfactory. So that is why changing our lives is often difficult, but at the same time is enlightening. You will feel very happy if you change yourself, any small thing, in a more positive direction. And active power types are quite different from acquisitioners. Active power types, they are the most self motivators, and they believe, and self care is a priority. Sorry, there are some mistakes, friends. Here, self care. They believe in self care and self respect. And the energy and their energy circuits are attached to awareness, strength, and emotional stamina. A self motivator is able to do whatever is required to maintain the balance of body, mind, and soul. And let me give one more example here, friends. What Miss have stated is, there was a patient called Joanna. She was developing a dysfunctional marriage and developing breast cancer. So what Joanna have done is, like, she started to admit what she's going through, and this man is has kept on having a company with several other women. But Joanna somehow tried to overlook on this path, but she had entered into this marriage um, as a commitment that both people come onto the one emotional system. And soon she recognized that her breast cancer, which appeared in the area associated with giving and nurturing, would heal only if she took steps to honor herself and to develop self-esteem. So increasingly, Joanna gained an internal image of herself as a strong individual. And by thinking of herself as an individual, she began a relationship with herself, and she did not previously considered it is possible, since her concept of marriage is totally different. And then Joanna came to recognize her own needs. She exercised her new inner authority by standing up to herself, and she changed also her behavior. And slowly, then finally she realized that the marriage is not working, and then she gave a divorce. But then slowly her cancer also have been healed. It's not just the divorce that she have given, but it's the commitment that she have given to herself. It's the self-respect that she have given to herself. That is what it has healed. Toxic environment, she just removed the toxic environment, and she started again giving motivation to other people as well. She became the most strong woman. See, our every simple acts, it shows that we are committed towards something, and there does the healing starts. And we have to realize that every small step is a change, and in the process of healing, we have to learn to detach ourselves from objects or people who are drawing the strength right out of their bodies. So we always think like there is materialistic strength or something, but the thing is, we have to draw our inner resources, and we have to find strength to leave our outdated patterns or behaviors. And we have to see ourselves in a new, healthy ways. And that is the reason why the environment which we choose and the friendships which we make is always impacts us. So in the end, finally, the main thing is you alone can heal, can help yourself heal. And in the next week, we'll see about the symbolic patterns. We'll learn about the symbolic language, which will be very helpful. And there are also some best practices which will start from next week onwards, even the practicing all these kind of symbols, and how we can develop our intuition by looking at our own inner abilities. So this is the session for today, friends. And now I would like to stop the screen sharing. And I really would welcome for some interactions. So if there are any questions, or if you wanted to share anything, please, you can unmute yourself, and you can share, my dear friends. Yes. Anyone wants to share, friends? So I hope the session is also clear. If anyone wants me to speak a bit slow, you can just tell me and I'll just follow it. Yes, Ram?
Yeah, Neelima. So that was beautiful, truly beautiful, because it was always like uh, giving back the power to oneself, and also putting us directly onto the driver's seat, you know,
Hmm.
and the way how how careful we need to be in many things that we do, and the difference between curing and healing, conventional medicine to the healing,
Yes.
and the fact that which is the right way in order to truly get rid of the source of the illness. So all these points are uh, truly, how do you say, reconfirming what we keep reading and what we keep hearing. And even through these sharings of Caroline Miss, it is it is it gives much clarity. Yeah. So just putting each one of us in a driver's seat. So thanks a lot for your time, and thanks for all the work you put in making things more clearer. So very grateful to you, Nilima. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ram. That was really lovely to hear from you. And I'm glad that we are all like gaining some motivation and gaining wisdom from each other. Yes. Yes, Sumati Garu.
Hello, Neelimaji. Thank you so much for the wonderful meditation and wisdom sharing. I always believe in holistic approach, and it's always worked. Although um, I'm in UK, predominantly all my patients are Caucasians, and they are so receptive to it. And you'd be surprised how people would want to get to the root cause of the problem, that is
Mm,
active intervention versus passive,
yes.
prescription. I have a query in one of your, I'm not sure, second or third slide. There was an image of a body uh, that mentioned about people not being able to forgive, and then on the other side of the picture there was money. I'm unable to correlate that. Could you kindly explain further, please?
So the thing is like these are all the external sources. For example, if we wanted to gain money, like I also have given another example that there was a dentist patient who came to Dr. Norm, and he was unable to quit his job because he need to support himself because of money, and also he doesn't know like what kind of other source like he can support by himself, and eventually this man suffered with the pancreatic cancer because he do not wanted to do his job, and he was unable to enjoy his job. And that's the reason like why this patient was unable to heal or respond to this treatment, and eventually he passed away. So this is also one of the factor that we should not give more importance to money. We have to rather give importance to what we really enjoy and what we really enjoy doing. So this is also one of the point that the image have shows, that we really have to be very uh, identify what the external sources are draining our power system,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where we have to be very careful. So these are the things. Yes.
Thank you, Nilimaji. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sumati ji. Yes, Sridhar ji.
Yeah, it's excellent presentation. So I just remember one thing. Someone said that our body is the best pharmacy in the world.
Yes.
And suppose if I suddenly think of a snake next to me, uh, there are different chemicals which produced by the body within seconds, which will create a different reaction and then different behavior of my body.
Yes.
And if that continues for a long time, so my body gets affected in a different way.
Yes.
So everything starts with a thought, the thought of whether it is negative or positive. If it is negative, there are different chemicals which are formed. If it is positive, it is other type of chemicals which are formed. So if we keep our thoughts positive, so the best way to do that is through meditation. And if we do regular meditation, and initially we can convert the negative thoughts into positive thoughts, later on we can become thoughtless. So when we become thoughtless, the pure energy works from inside the body. So even if it is positive thought, the chemicals which are formed by positive thoughts actually heal our body. So if I take this small principle of our body is the best pharmaceutical manufacturer in the world,
Hmm.
it's we who drive that through our thoughts, whether you want to create a bad chemical or a good chemical.
Yes.
That's all I just wanted to say.
Absolutely. And thanks a lot for saying this as well, Sridharji.
Thank you.
It's really an extension to this um, presentation today, and I'm glad that you have came forward and shared this one. Yes. So, friends, we are also having some questions via chat. Does cancer is cured through this anatomy? So, Saritaji, that's what this has been explained here. The person who responds to this one, to this healing, are the ones who also respond to the treatment. Otherwise, it all depends on how they are open-minded and how they come forward for the treatment, for the holistic treatment. So that's what it all says. Like we have seen multiple example, for example, with the patient who doesn't have responded to the treatment and the lady who responded to the treatment. So eventually this lady have cured the cancer, but the dentist patient have passed away because he was unable to come out of his depression. So how, what we are putting and what kind of thoughts like we are giving to ourselves, what kind of challenges in a positive way that we are giving to ourselves is also one thing that, the cure happens. I would not put the word cure, I would put the word healing. Yes, I hope I have answered you. And then there was another question from Nikita ji. What if someone is born with disease? Is it possible to heal? I think this has got more in-depth subject as well, Nikita ji, in order to answer this, because this is where multiple things will come up, like what kind of birth we are taking in and what kind of experiences that we came to this life to experience. Because for a baby born, they are more mature than us, because they don't even get into this society trap, or and they naturally have the ability to heal themselves. So it's a very a bit more difficult question, that one. So it really depends on the karma and what kind of thing they came. And I really can't say on this if it is possible to heal, because again there are two types of healing that which happens, as Caroline also had have said. For example, even if we have seen that we are suffering here, healing is also happening on the other side of the body. And sometimes we see healing only as a physical entity, but we should never see that healing is always to cure illness physically. but there is also illness on the energy side as well, and that has to be healed as well. So it really depends, and I would really recommend, like, if there is really someone, please try to get connected to their energies, because babies are the one who really get connected, and they can even come and give their message, like what they wanted to, if they wanted to heal by themselves, or do they really wanted to have this kind of experience. Please try to speak with them. They are the best who conveys the message very clearly. So this is what I would really recommend. Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot, Sapna ji. So Pratap ji, I have seen that he have raised the hand. He's not there. Okay. Yes, Vindhya ji.
Yeah, Neelima ji, first of all, thank you. Thank you very much. You have taken so much of effort to create those slides and explain, and the way you explain also, I can see how much enthusiasm. I wasn't attending all the time, on and off I attend, but a lot of information. There was so much you gave. When you said power, is it the same as energy when you're saying power, or and how do we gain? Is it through meditation, or I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. So this power, which is means called like the personal power, not the power that we always see on the outer part. So the energy, how does this energy develops, means like by the thought system. And when our thought system, everything is pure, the internal energy is becoming more, um, it elaborates, like it extends, and that is the vital fact of the power. So in a way, they are the both, like, let's say, thought, no, and then energy, and then power. This power is the very thing that, where we have to identify where are the leakages in our body. So they are both identical.
Okay, so and then the leakages you said could be through money, through energy, through multiple
Yes,
types, right?
multiple factors, multiple factors. And
Can we
eventually
can
every
we
day
identify them?
also. Yes,
Can we?
imagine the smallest of the smallest things. For example, if we are on a debate with someone, we
Mhm.
easily identify what the other person, is it like they are debating with us based on their ego, that they wanted to really get an answer from us, like to say yes or no, like that, or
Yes.
are they really debating like to make us understand the situation. These are the smallest of the smallest things we always know in our everyday lives. And
Mhm.
once we focus on the smallest things, then we can easily recognize where the power is, getting drained. And also imagine, for example, if you speak with someone else, you get exhausted and you feel like as if you are drained or tired. And why this happens is there is an energy leakage, because you are not connected with this person. So you have to be aware of this toxic person, for example. And then when your power increases, means like you listen to some motivation people, or you see some comedy based genre movies, or anything, you uplift
Mhm.
yourself, that which means you are gaining power. So it's always like we can see in the smallest forms, and slowly we start with the bigger things.
So we should surround ourselves with these energy gaining, like with nature, people, whatever situations.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a
Beautiful,
lot,
beautiful.
Vindhya. Yes, yes. So thanks a lot, friends. So if anyone have missed the sessions, there is always the links in YouTube. Well, Madhu or Ram, is there also a playlist which has been created, or?
Um, I will check that, Neelima, and
Hmm.
if at all it's not there, we will make one check playlist.
Yes, yes, friends. So we'll also give that in our group, friends. So if anyone have missed the previous lessons, always we have the YouTube sessions and they are available on YouTube. So thanks a lot, my dear friends. And next week we'll be learning about the symbolic language of light, and we really practice the concepts which we have learned today as well. Yes. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all, friends.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelima, again. And thanks everyone for being here together. And friends, tomorrow, our coming up sessions is tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock Germany time, breath and meditation session, where we'll be having a wisdom sharing about more about meditation. And then tomorrow evening, we have Master Dinesh from UK at 6 p.m. So do join, do share, do practice more and more meditation, keep reading books, and have great time. So see you all soon. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.